There, the fairy godmother waved her magic wand, and suddenly, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo, a beautiful gown appeared in Cinderella's hands. It shimmered like spun sugar, catching the light with every movement. But Cinderella gasped, for the dress was as white as snow, and its many layers were delicately stitched with silver thread. The fairy godmother smiled warmly. "Do you like it?" she asked. Cinderella could only nod, her eyes wide with wonder. The fairy godmother waved her wand again, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo, and in a blink, a pair of sparkling slippers materialized on Cinderella's feet. They fit perfectly, and their silver buckles shone like stars. Then the fairy godmother turned her kind eyes to Cinderella's ragged ball gown. Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. With a flick of her wand, the old dress vanished. In its place, a stunning pink ball gown with delicate silver stars all over it twirled around Cinderella. It was as if the stars themselves had fallen from the sky onto her dress. Delighted, Cinderella twirled in front of the mirror. She had never felt so beautiful, so grown up, so elegant. The fairy godmother nodded, pleased with her work. "Looks perfect for a night at the palace," she said. Then, noticing Cinderella's worried expression, the fairy godmother added, "But remember, the magic will last only until midnight. If you don't leave the palace by then, the spell will be broken." Cinderella curtsied to her fairy godmother. "Thank you," she whispered, overwhelmed with gratitude. Suddenly, a clock chimed, reminding Cinderella that she had to hurry. She took a deep breath and stepped outside into the night. There, waiting for her, was the most beautiful carriage she had ever seen. It was pulled by 6 white horses with golden bridles. Inside, everything was pink, from the cushions to the curtains. Even the glass windows sparkled like jewels. The fairy godmother smiled. "This belongs to the prince," she explained. "It will take you to the palace. Just remember, Cinderella, you must leave before midnight." Cinderella curtsied once again and climbed into the carriage. The horses started to move, their hooves barely making a sound on the cobblestone streets. Soon, they arrived at the palace. Its many windows sparkled like stars fallen to earth. Excited whispers filled the air. All the young ladies of the kingdom were inside, waiting for the prince to arrive. Cinderella stepped out of the carriage. Her heart beat faster as she heard the sounds of music and dancing. She adjusted her gloves, straightened her shoulders, and walked towards the palace doors. Inside, the hall was decorated with flowers and shimmering curtains. Long tables were set with golden plates and goblets, and in the center stood a magnificent crystal chandelier. The other girls were dressed in beautiful gowns, some with puffed sleeves, others with sparkling bodices. They all hoped to catch the prince's eye. But when Cinderella entered, everyone stopped talking. They stared at her in amazement. She had never felt so self-conscious, so nervous. What if she tripped? What if she spilled something? What if the prince didn't even notice her? Taking a deep breath, she decided to enjoy the moment. She had worked hard to get here, and now was the time to have fun. So Cinderella joined the other girls, laughing and chatting. They danced with the handsome young lords and dukes. They sipped sweet drinks and nibbled on delicious snacks. Cinderella felt as if she were in a dream. The music was enchanting. The company was delightful. And somehow, she managed to avoid spilling a single drop of her drink or stepping on anyone's toes. The prince arrived late, and when he saw Cinderella, his jaw dropped. He had never seen anyone so beautiful, so graceful, so elegant. He walked towards her, his eyes shining. "May I have this dance?" he asked. Cinderella blushed, but she agreed. And as they danced, they talked. They discovered they had a lot in common, and Cinderella found herself laughing and having fun. The hours passed quickly, and soon the orchestra began to play softer music. Cinderella realized the fairy godmother's warning was coming true. "I have to leave," she told the prince. He looked disappointed, but he understood. He walked her back to the carriage. As the clock chimed midnight, Cinderella fled. She raced through the palace gardens, her slippers clicking on the stone path. She didn't want the prince to see her without her gown and without her mask. She had to get home before the magic disappeared. But as she ran, one of her slippers fell off. It landed on a nearby bench, unnoticed. Back at the palace, the prince found the lost slipper. He picked it up and gazed at it, a smile spreading across his face. I have to find her, he said to himself, too. I don't care if I have to search the entire kingdom. And so, with the help of his horse and hound, the prince set out to find the owner of the beautiful silver shoe. To be continued.